Good morning, boys and girls. We are going to have a virtual literacy lesson, spelling lesson. We always do it virtually, but usually it's live. We're all together. And this one is going to be like the math lesson yesterday. We'll follow a normal format, but you'll just be doing it on your own time. You can also pause the video whenever you need to and continue watching. So let's begin, as we always do, with some spelling review and phonogram review. So please write the following phonograms on your whiteboard. If you need to pause the video now, you can certainly do that. First, please write N, two-letter N, used only at the beginning of a base word. N, two-letter N, used only at the beginning of a base word. Should look like this. As always, if you want to think of some words that use it, that would be great too. Next, please write N, two-letter N, used both at the beginning and end of a base word. N, two-letter N, used both at the beginning and end of a base word. You get it right? Great job, if so. Next is F, two-letter F, two-letter F. Look like this. You got it right. Next are sh phonograms. Let's begin with sh, tall letter sh, used both at, used only at the beginning of syllables after the first one. Sh, tall letter sh, used only at the beginning of syllables after the first one. Next, sh, zh, used at the beginning of syllables after the first one. Sh, zh, used at the beginning of syllables after the first one. That's kind of a funny looking S. Let me rewrite it here. And finally, sh, short letter sh, used at the beginning of syllables after the first one. Sh, short letter sh, used at the beginning of syllables after the first one. Who got all of them right? Great job, if so. Okay, let's do some spelling review now. You will have a spelling quiz on Friday this week. So these are words that will be on that spelling quiz. Let's begin with invite. Please write invite. It look like this. I do want you to mark it as you go since we are still practicing these. And feel free to pause it in the video if you need to see that for longer. Next, please write invitation. 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 The way we pronounce it, the t is really part of that third syllable, but it could be helpful to remember it here so that it closes that off. Invitation. Remember to drop that silent final E before you add your suffix. Next, possible. Double that S, bowl. Only consonant sounds in that final syllable, so make sure you have silent final E. Job number 4. Possible. Possible. Now, let's write impossible. Im is a prefix meaning not. Just add that im prefix. Everything else should be identical. Impossible. Next, still with that base word of possible, now it's impossibly. Impossibly. Having that ly, ly suffix, which means it is an adverb. Impossibly. Impossibly. No silent final E. Instead, it's a Y. Next, let's do two more. Ordinary. Ordinary. That's an R-controlled vowel there. Ordinary. Ordinary. Who got it right? And finally, let's add a prefix, which means above and beyond. Extraordinary. Extra. We think to spell the word extra as extra because that second syllable gets muffled. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Extra, even though we say extra, ordinary. And who remembers how we usually pronounce this actually? Not extraordinary, but it is extraordinary. This ends up being silent in pronunciation, but we're marking it according to the pronunciation of extraordinary. Okay, that is all for review. At this time, please open up your binders for some new spelling words today. Time for a new lesson. Not sure if you've watched this before or after your map test, but hope those are going well. I'm filming this on Wednesday, right after you guys had your reading one, and there was a little bit of problem getting some people logged in, but hopefully this one is a lot faster since this would be your second time logging in. Okay. Should have your page out, ready for a new spelling lesson in your binder. Okay, but drop those pencils because should not be writing yet. Our first word for today is conference. Would you say conference? Conference. This comes from the base word confer that we talked about on Tuesday. To confer means talk about, discuss. So a conference is a meeting where you talk. We, in pronunciation, sometimes kind of mash the syllables together. So instead of conference, we say conference, but we really need to slow this down as we think about it. Conference is the way we think to spell this. Fingers under chin to pronounce it, please. Conference, 3 syllables. In the first syllable, what do you hear? K, a, n. 3 sounds, that's basic code. Next syllable, what do you hear? Confer. 2 sounds, using the or refer, just like in that base word confer. Finally, the last syllable has the sounds e, n, s, 3 sounds. The last sound is k, s. Sing its second sound because it's followed by a silent final E. Please write conference. 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 Pause the video if you need more time. Okay. K, a, n, syllable break. Syllable break. N, silent final E. Okay. We can get kind of quick and lazy with this word, and instead of saying conference, we might say conference, but we're going to mark it according to the right way to say it, conference. The first syllable is basic code, no markings. The second syllable has that two-letter phonogram, the year of her. Who spotted it? Great job. Conference. And the last syllable says its second sound because of a silent final E. Job number 3. You got it. And underline that k. Sing its second sound. This word is a noun. Put a little N next to it, please. Okay, time for our next word. The next word is the word real. Would you say real? Real, as in I've seen a real tiger at the zoo. Real. This is a homophone. There's also reel, like a film reel, movie reel. That is spelled differently, though. This is the one you mainly see. Real. Sound it out with me. Fingers under your chin. Real. One syllable. What sounds do you hear? E, O. 3 sounds. We're going to use the phonogram E-A for the E in this word. E-A for that E sound. Please pick up your pencil and write this one-syllable word, real. Pause the video if you need more time. R-E-O, real. You got it right. Great job if so. Okay. So real. We only have one marking. E-A. This word is an adjective. Okay. That's all pretty easy. Pretty easy, right? Now we're going to turn it into an adverb. Now we have been talking about adverbs in well-ordered language, so this is a great time to review what an adverb is. An adverb is a part of speech. It modifies a verb or another adverb. It can also modify an adjective. It answers 3 questions, how, when, or where. It answers 3 questions, how, when, or where. So, an adverb modifies usually a verb, and it answers how, when, or where. A lot of times we see 2 letters at the end of an adverb. What are they? Ly. We're going to use those 2 letters, the adverb suffix ly, for this word real. And now we're going to have the word really. Fingers under your chin to say it. Really. 2 syllables. As in, I saw a really big toucan at the zoo. Okay, really. Or I tried really hard on my map test today. If so, great job. Okay, for the word really, the first syllable is exactly the same. Really. Then we're going to have the ly suffix at the end of this word. O-E, using I-E. Pick up your pencil and write really. Right here. Pause the video if you need more time. Okay. E-O, syllable break. O-E, really. Great job if you got it right. Okay. Did a really good job. Now in the first syllable, we have that phonogram E-A again. Now we pronounce this word really. So this time, since we've got a double L, the first one is silent. Over here, which vowel sound of I-E is being said? I-E. Third sound. What's the part of speech? You said adverb. You are correct. Okay, we're going to use this base word one more time for our last word today. Real is in the base word of our new word, reality. Reality. As in, I had some virtual reality goggles, which made everything look real. Reality is used as a noun. So reality is what's truly happening all around us. Reality. Put your fingers under your chin to say this. We pronounce it a little differently, but we still have that base word real. Reality. 4 syllables. But we're still keeping the spelling of that base word the same. Okay. What sounds do you hear in each of the syllables of reality? What are the sounds? E, 2 sounds. E is in an open syllable. Next syllable, A-O, 2 sounds. Basic code. Next syllable, it, 2 sounds. Basic code. And last syllable, what sound do you hear? E, 1 sound. At the end of a word, we use I-E for the E sound. Okay. Fingers under your chin to say it one more time before you write. Reality. 4 syllables. Pick up your pencil and write it, please. Okay. E, syllable break. Syllable break. It, syllable break. E. Reality. Who spelled it correctly? Great job, if so. Notice here that we have A broken up into 2 single letter phonograms now, so we're going to mark this differently. So, E says its name, basic code, it, basic code, E. Third sound of I-E. This word is a noun. Put a parentheses and an in. Okay. Put a little in next to your parentheses. Time for a sentence, a dictated sentence. Okay, so for our dictated sentence, please write the following. Parent-teacher conferences are really next week, which is true. We're going to start parent-teacher conferences next week. Okay, repeat after me and put a mental picture in your mind of what's happening. Parent-teacher conferences are really next week. Okay, pick up your pencil and write it, please. Pause the video if you are not done with your sentence at this time. Parent, our controlled vowel there in parent. Teacher, correct those words if those are misspelled. Conference, conferences. Conferences. That actually ends up being 2 syllables, but I kind of wanted to mark it according to how we were just marking conference. Parent-teacher conferences are really next week. They start next week virtually. Even these students at school are doing virtual conferences. Okay, parent-teacher conferences are really next week. Pause the video if you need to see that a little longer. And at this time, let's close this up. Your well-ordered language for today, I'm going to just walk through the pages in it. And then we'll do a little bit of work in orthography notebooks. Should have done AT to AT3 on Tuesday. Today we're looking at pages 84 through 87 in your workbook. Right. It says here, as you know, in a sentence, adverbs tell how the verb is behaving. But did you know that some adverbs can be negative? That means they negate the verb or turn it into the opposite. For example, Aunt Gabby was not watching. Aunt Gabby is the subject and was watching is the verb phrase, including a helping verb and a predicate verb. Not is the adverb that is telling how she was watching. Now, it probably sounds very strange, but it is modifying that verb. It's basically saying that verb did not happen. She did not watch. In other words, she was not doing the action of watching. The words not and never are always adverbs. Always, always. Those can be memorized like our helping verbs. Whenever you see the words not or never, you know it is what part of speech? An adverb. Okay, now imagine you are on a trip to the zoo. Let's rewrite these sentences by including either not or never. Right, so lions sleep. Would it make more sense to say lions not sleep or lions never sleep? Should hear you say never. Lions never sleep. I hope that's not true. Poor lions. Everybody needs sleep. Lions never sleep. I want you to put that practice in of analyzing this sentence. We've got a subject, lions. What are they doing? Sleeping, but they're actually never doing it. We're going to make that an adverb pointing at our predicate verb. Let's do another one. Chimps are swinging. Could we say chimps are not swinging or chimps are never swinging? I'd say either one. Let's do not though. Chimps are not swinging. Chimps is the subject. Are is one of our helping verbs. Swinging is the action, it's a predicate verb. And not tells us they are not swinging. It's the opposite of this predicate verb. We want to make sure our adverbs point to the PV, predicate verb. They're not modifying the helping verb. They'll almost never point to a helping verb. They modify the predicate verb instead. All right, you'll do the same thing on page 85, numbers 3 through 6. Let's do a little analyzing practice here on the bottom of 85. Fritz is not swimming today. This is a sentence because it is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It is a declarative sentence because it makes a statement. This sentence is about Fritz. So Fritz is the subject because it is what the sentence is about. This tells us that Fritz is swimming, even though it says he is not swimming. Our predicate is that he is swimming. Those are what's happening. Not is an adverb. We're going to get to that later. So is swimming is the predicate because it's what the sentence tells us about Fritz. Swimming is a predicate verb because it shows action. There is no linking verb because predicate verbs do not need linking verbs. Is a helping verb because it helps the verb. And we've got two more words left. We already know not is always an adverb. And does our adverb point to the predicate verb or helping verb? The predicate verb. For this part, let's say that not tells us how Fritz is swimming. It is an adverbial element because it modifies a verb. It is an adverb. Okay. Now remember our adverb questions. How, when, where. Does today tell us how Fritz is swimming, when Fritz is swimming, or where he is swimming? Did you say when? Good, that's right. Today tells us when Fritz is swimming. It is an adverbial element because it modifies a verb. It is an adverb. Let's move on to number 2. I see an ly in number 2. Ly tells us it's an adverb, even though it's at the beginning of a sentence. That's different. Sometimes an adverb can be at the beginning of a sentence. We saw that with some things in your pages from Tuesday, like softly grandma whispered. Okay, but we're still looking for the subject first. Sadly, rain is pouring outside. You have a mental picture of what's happening here? Sadly, rain is pouring outside. Okay. Now, this is a sentence because it is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It is a declarative sentence because it makes a statement. This sentence is about rain. So rain is the subject because it is what the sentence is about. You guys find that? I hope you didn't put sadly or think sadly. Rain is what the sentence is about. Sadly, rain is pouring outside. Now, what is the sentence telling us about rain? Rain is pouring. So is pouring is the predicate because it's what the sentence tells us about rain. Pouring is the predicate verb because it shows action. There's no linking verb because predicate verbs do not need linking verbs. Is the helping verb because it helps the verb. These are the principal elements because they are what are needed for the sentence to be completed. All the remaining parts are subordinate elements. That tells us we're done with our principal elements. The rest are adverbs because those are the only subordinate elements we've learned so far. So we know these are adverbs. Does outside tell us how the rain is pouring, when it is pouring, or where it is pouring? I would say where. We're going to point it to the predicate verb, not helping verb, predicate verb. Now, does sadly tell us how the rain is pouring, when it is pouring, or where it is pouring? I would say how. How is the rain pouring? Sadly. What would sadly seem like for rain? This kind of tells us it's sad for the person writing the sentence, but yes. Pause it if you need to see that longer. Follow that example for the next pages, 86 through 87. You'll analyze the sentences by labeling these correctly. Rewrite the sentence from above. Write down your adverbs, one from each sentence. Actually, one will have two because there's only 4 sentences, but there's 5 lines. And then tell how waves were crashing down. Over here, write a sentence that includes an adverb that describes how crabs move. Okay, I'll have those pages posted in Bright Thinker. Time to write our words in our orthography notebook. Pause the video if you need to go grab that. We're writing lesson 18 words. Our first word comes from this space word over here, confer. Those are also connected. Conference. Please write it down. Pause the video for you to have plenty of time to write. Conference. Conference. Our next word is real. I'm going to go quick, faster than normal. I need to actually go to Carline in just a moment as I'm filming this. So pause the video to write real. Okay, you should be done with that. Real, E-A, that's the only marking. Next, we're going to write really. Pause the video to write. Okay, should be done. Really. Those are the markings. Finally, reality. Pause the video to write it. You should be done. Re-al-it-e. Re-al-it-e. These words all come from the base word real. Pause the video if you need more time for that. Let's sort our words in a couple of places now. I first want to move over to page 29. 29 is our adverb page. We already have that word impossibly. Let's add the word really. Really. Oh, I forgot to double underline that "ul" in the last one. But really, great job if you picked up on that before. Really. That was on page 29. Pause it if you need more time. Now let's go over to page 28 and write real. That was an adjective. Real. Okay, and finally, let's go over to where we were writing confer and conferred the other day. Just a moment, finding my spot. Okay. Actually, we didn't end up writing it here. So we're going to write it above prefer on page 23. Pause it to find page 23. Here we go. Syllable break. Next one. Syllable break. Double the conferred. Okay. And finally, conference. We will also not double the R in this one. I should have pointed that out in our lesson, but don't double the R because we are going to have an accent on the first syllable, conference. And it's not a spelling word, but please also write reference on the last box because it follows this exact same spelling pattern. Okay, pause your video now if you need more time to write these. Okay, you should be done with all literacy for today. Hope that the test is going well for you. If at any time that was too fast, and that was faster than we would usually do, but you've got the ability to pause it, rewind, rewatch sections. That is all for our class today. Hope that you're doing well. Tomorrow, Friday, we're going to have a normal class, so we'll be back to normal for that one. Have a great day. Bye.